I got it. How do we devise the perfect game? I got it. With just a pinch of BioShock. Put it in the oven, shall we? And now we wait. What's happening, gamers? Today we are reviewing Outer Worlds complete review. So the beginning of the game starts you out on Edgewater, which is this tiny planet on Terra 2. You are tasked with finding a new ship and kind of going out from there. This is where you start to figure out you have a tactical slowdown, which you can use on keyboard with Q. I'm playing this on ultra settings at 2K resolution. And it ran really well on my setup. It was no problem at all. I don't have a monitor that supports 4K, or else I would have done that as well. But the combat right off the back is absolutely fantastic. I never really came across stutters or anything coming along. There was no gameplay spikes, and playing on normal difficulty first was extremely easy, and playing on supernova difficulty was somewhat of a challenge. There was some parts that I died on. Early game stuff, it's kind of really not, it's kind of easy to die quite early in the game on supernova, but normal didn't have too many problems. I pretty much ran right through the game, and of course that was probably the hardest part, was, you know, doing that part. My next acquisition of the game was going to meet the mayor of Edgewater, tasking me if I need this, he needs to do something for me. You know, typical Fallout stuff, and pretty much any kind of role-playing game sometimes. Mainly Fallout does this kind of thing. And this kind of gets you into a Fallout New Vegas feel, because they task you to grabbing a, going to a nuclear plant, which is inhabited by deserters of the old town, and that, of course, gets you between the two, and you're trying to figure out a way how to appease both sides. And really, there's no easy way to do this. I persuaded my way, but I made the mayor leave, which was my first, you know, my first major thing that I actually thought I did really well. Although there's an achievement for saving the town, I never got this on my first playthrough because I didn't know that there was another way how to do it. And I made the deserters come in, but it removed the mayor from power, essentially. Which, ironically, was a portion of the good part of the game, how that played out. We'll talk about more of the endings later in the video. Once you do those quests, you get your ship. You can travel to a multitude of planets. I think there's a total of 6 planets that you can travel to in the game, and possibly more with DLC if they choose to do so. The way I can see DLC planning is going to another system, or adding to the other planets that they have there already, or just adding substantial side quests or other things like that. That's the only way I can see it anyways, but other than that, maybe DLCs aren't in plan for Outer Worlds, but I know that Obsidian likes to add whole wall and good content to their games. Maybe they'll add aliens. They love doing that stuff to their games, so and they hint that in some of the side quests, but we'll see. So once you get on a ship, you can go anywhere. You're tasked with going to the Groundbreaker to do Phineas's side quests and find, you know, information and all that kind of stuff. You're grounded. You need to get to a specific planet, and she sends you to another planet to get money. At this point, I was like, 10,000 bits sounds like a lot, but honestly, if you sell your items that you get off the ground and all this other kind of stuff, it's not too big of a deal. On Supernova and Easy, I went with capacity so I could carry more items than I should, and that was a good way to get money. Right when I got there, I could buy, you know, the card if I wanted to, but I wanted to pursue the side quests, and I wanted 100% this game, And doing this, you have to actually go talk to another guy and basically turn Phineas in, and that gives you another partial side quest towards like the bad ending of the game, I would say. And so going to him, you have to pay another 8,000, or you can steal out of her safe, which was quite hard. I did this on supernova difficulty, and that was probably one of the hardest things to do, because there was 18,000, because it's 8,000 for the seal, and 10,000 bits for all that stuff. If you choose to go with the scientist, you get, you get a special weapon. You save the toothpaste, which actually gives you another secret achievement for that side. So there's so many secret achievements and so many different playthroughs you have to do in this game. I think I did 3 total, and did a couple of multiple saves just to add to it. But once you do that, she gives you the key to go to Terra. You talk to one of her contacts, and this is where you start to realize that most of the companions are just handed to you due to story progression. You get the first one, which is the girl mechanic, just by playing the game, and then you of course get Viker Max if you start to do her quest, which basically the girl gives you. I can't remember her name for whatever reason. I didn't use her very much. And then you can get Viker Max, and then once you turn the power on the ship, there's Sam, which I didn't know about till the end of the game, although he is amazingly good. Going up to the top of the cabin and opening the door, there's a mechanical mech, and you can actually use him as a companion. He's like the final 6th one I got. Which, and then you talk to Nikita, there's Ellie, there's Felix, and Sam, the one engineer girl, and Viker Max. They all have their own companion quest. Viker Max wants to do his like philosophy. He wants to figure out the grand plan, which is like basically the meaning of life, which he never figures out. You get the beginning girl to be a lesbian. You get Ellie to get money from her inheritance. There's actually really good companion quests, which I think were the highlight of this game, because Ellie's parents, which are these rich people on one of the rich colonies, Benezia or something like that, and her parents basically fake her death when she goes to become a pirate, when she leaves her medical field, and basically that gives, her parents are like, hey, we might as well get money out of it. So they got a ton of money because they said her daughter died, and they made her leave, and then we changed her her beneficiary to her, so she got money for her own death, which is actually pretty interesting. She gives you a little bit of bits and improves your stuff. I don't know if this changes the end of the game. I did get that ending. It does change the end of the game if you don't do any of the companion quests. A lot of things happen to the characters that we'll talk about at the end. But when you go to Benezia, you do a couple quests, you help the ministry, you figure out the whole reason of this entire game, which is quite a shocker. Honestly, I thought it was a very interesting. So if there's an Outerworlds 2, if they do DLC, I hope they do Outerworlds 2, because this game is probably one of the best RPGs of 2019 by far. I definitely enjoyed it for its rich storytelling. There's not a whole lot of side quests and stuff to do in the game. Obviously, I 100%ed it in less than a week, but it is extremely fun. The gunplay, everything. The skills are something that I wish would have been tweaked a little bit, like perks. That was one thing that I didn't really like all that much. There wasn't really any special perks or anything like that, and that was probably one of the downfalls, I think, of Outer Worlds, was its leveling up system. And but other than that, it's not too big of a deal, I don't think. Your partners don't get really level ups. They only get level up when you do. So that was one thing that I kind of thought was interesting, but I mean, it works,
Dude, don't die.
But honestly, that was one of the pieces that I had. You help a couple other people, but mainly side quests and completionist bonus. You don't get really anything that worthwhile, I want to say. There's a couple of side quests that are, add some flair to the game, but in reality, there's not much exciting, super good content when it comes to side quests. Mainly the focus of the game is its main story and its companion quests. Those are probably top tier of this game. Side quests, there's not many of them and they're kind of just boring. But the characters of the game have this comedic value that really make the game stand out,
probably, right?
and really makes it the worthwhile of at least beating once. Maybe not completing to a certain degree because there is a lot of tedious playthroughs that you have to do, and beating on supernova difficulty, which means you cannot fast travel, you cannot save whenever you want, you only can save on your ship, you have to sleep, eat, and drink, which isn't too big of a deal, but spending 1,800 caps on supernova difficulty, getting to this point, was kind of a monumental breakthrough because I had to hope to God that I had all the supplies to continue my questing without dying. So now we'll talk about endings. So the shock factor towards the end of the game is that you're trying to contact Earth, but Earth sends no response. They've been dormant for the last 2 to 3 years, which is quite shocking because we don't know exactly how far away we are from Earth. And they said they sent people to Earth, but no one ever sent anyone back, which is even more interesting. Having that fact, that could lead me to either DLC content where you go to Earth, or maybe that is just Outerworlds 2 is on Earth, or trying to figure out what happened to Earth, or and the board wants to freeze everyone like how you were at the beginning of the game, and freeze everyone to hope that everyone can eat because you guys are running out of food. So the one thing that I thought when I heard this was like, wow, this is actually a pretty big shock, like Earth's gone, all this shit. And that was probably the best thing I heard. That was the monumental breakpoint in this game. Now, the couple of side quests that you could have done in, the other playthroughs, you hear about this through pretty much the same way you hear every side quest. You hear it from the board directly if you actually talk to them. You get this actually pretty hilarious speech, which I'll show a clip of right now.
On a rotating basis, so that every Halcyonite can be part of the important work of saving our colony. By testing paperweights. Sorry, couldn't resist. Let's go again. Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Rockwell, and I'm here to address a serious issue facing us. As you all know, our colony has been successful beyond our wildest dreams. Unfortunately, we've recently discovered that our food supply will not be able to sustain Halcyon's population in the long term. Everyone will die. Everyone will slowly stop living from malnutrition. But we're doing it together, and that's what matters. I fucking swear, if someone doesn't give me something to read that will placate the masses soon, all of you will find yourselves violently unemployed.
I thought this was kind of funny because it was hilarious. It was kind of funny, and that was what helped me continue playing the game on multiple playthroughs. I'm like, I can't wait to get to this scene where this happens. I thought it was funny. I really did. And beating it on my first playthrough, I ironically got the best ending possible, where all my companions lived. Edgewater becomes a good, hospitable place where food can grow again, and it becomes one of the striving places. The MSI and the Iconolist also become friends, and they become one of the best mini things after the board collapses. Phineas, helps unthaw the rest of the people, and helps to grow Elysion's possibility. It is the best possible choice. Everyone in your party lives. You also helped make this thing a reality, and that is the end of the game. There's also a funnier one what you can do, where you can be like, if he asks you to help you get everyone out, and you're like, nope, I just want to eat ice cream. I think that was absolutely the best, because it plays everything normally. Expand the colony, and what did you do? It sat there and eat ice cream, and guess what? It was all worth it. I thought that was the best thing ever. There's also bad endings where the board freezes everyone and basically goes on the edge of collapse. Earth doesn't get any contact again. Everyone goes bad. The only thing that stays good is the MSI. If you plan to single out one of them, they continue to prosper, although the Iconolists are dead. Iconolists actually grow a following, and people kind of go there as like the main religion place if you get one of the best endings. So, in terms of replay value, I would say it does have some unique touches, but there isn't a lot of new things when it comes down to endgame, because there's only a few different endings. And honestly, there's only probably, I think, 2 or 3 that are even worth mentioning, besides a couple of minor differences depending on what you did with story. Honestly, that's probably where the video is going to land off, because this game is absolutely amazing. I would say at least beat it once, because 100% in this game is kind of a task. Once you beat it, I had probably about maybe 400 or 500 gamer score, maybe 550, somewhere in there. And then beating the other stories and doing the other minor stuff that I had to do took quite a while. It probably took 3 days to do the other endings and beat on supernova difficulty and all that other kind of stuff. That was probably the one thing that was probably the absolute worst, was doing that stuff. But in terms of that, the game is phenomenal. It deserves probably one of the best RPGs of this year. I played Borderlands 3 a little bit. I thought it was good. In terms of story, progression, Obsidian basically giving Fallout 76 the middle finger, and Bethesda saying, see you guys later, we're doing our own thing. This is absolutely great. I enjoy this, and Obsidian, thank you for making this game. It was hell of a fun, and I'm excited for more great things from you guys in the future. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys appreciated this completionist review. It was my first ever, and goddamn, it was a lot. There was a lot of side quests and a lot of main story and multiple playthroughs, so I appreciate you guys. If you watched, like the video, please subscribe for more great content just like this every single week. Whew, it was fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next one. Hopefully my beard grows back. That's one thing you guys are probably going to comment. Beard's gone. Yes, it is. It's November. No shave. Okay, bye.